Very happy morning to one and all. Myself, Ilayaraja, counseling psychologist and proprietor of Kavithalayaa Counseling Center, which is located in Ambatu, Chennai 53, and ISO 9001 and 2005. My special thanks to the School of Life Science, B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, in partnership with FA Environ Private Limited. And my special thanks to Dr. S. Hemalata, Professor and Dean, and Coordinator Dr. I. Farida Begum and Dr. C. Simon Duraraj for giving me this opportunity to take manage of examination anxiety during this pandemic time. Dear students, this is a collateral feeling during this pandemic time which is taken from the students. So the most of the students said that their sleep has been disturbed. They feel like to have disturbed sleep as well as waking up early, and they cannot able to sleep properly. They cannot able to focus 100% on their academics, and their body weight has been increasing. For some people, they have become obese. Meanwhile, I'm facing much harassment from the family members, from the friends, even I'm getting critics, and sometimes I'm feeling suicidal too. Some of the students' appetite has been gone low, appetite in the sense the way that they take up their food, and they're having so much of physical changes, which means they have headaches, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, body temperature changes, abdominal cramp, bowel movements changes, and sleep disturbance, appetite changes, and everything. Few students said that they have unusual thought about their life, especially about their examinations, insecurities about the surroundings, about the future. In specific to the examination, they are still confused how they are going to achieve first or best, how they're going to get more marks, how they're going to achieve their desired goal and everything. Definitely, of course, from 2019, we are in more frustrating situations that we have been finding it very difficult to handle the examination. At the same time, we are in a position to attain or to handle this examination very positively. So let's see in what way, like as our students are getting disturbed during this examination preparations, as well as let's see how we are going to manage that very constructively. So this is called exam anxiety checklist. So let's evaluate ourselves whether we really have this examination anxiety or we are very cool enough to handle the examination whenever we want. Students, if when you are during the preparation, if you feel like you are going blank, for example, you cannot able to proceed further in preparations, you feel very bored, you feel very dull, you feel like you cannot remember anything, that's called going blank, and feeling frustrated by preparing continuously, or feeling bored by preparing continuously, sometimes thinking yourself like you cannot do this or you are stupid, and feel like your heart racing, that's called physical reactions towards the stress, feeling difficult to breathe. Sometimes you feel like you cannot able to get more marks. You may be getting some good marks on your homework or on your testing papers, but you cannot able to, you decline or you give a conclusion like you cannot able to give a best marks. Your attention will become distracted, you will become or you may feel overwhelmed, going blank again, feeling to forget everything which you have learned on the earlier, and you will becoming or labeling yourself like you will definitely fail or you cannot able to do the performance well. When you say yes to either two or more than three questions, yes, we are into an stages or we are prone to get an exam anxiety in the nearer future or as of now. So this slide is about the examination related stress in students can be categorized by why we are getting anxious, why we are getting stressed, what is happening in our mind. When you see all this stuff, there are so many things which is popping up on our mind, especially we have very high expectations from self. We somehow force ourselves to get best mark or a first mark or a distinction or a gold medalist. All this sometimes for few students this may becomes one of the stress for them or anxious for them. And the factor 2 is parental pressure. We all know like so many parents will force us or request us to get the best marks because of the competition or because of your wellness, that you need to get a best college. For some students they may feel like this is a kind of pressure and they cannot able to proceed further, or this may create anxiety to them. And few students feel like they need to be competitive with their peers and they need to get best in the class. So this is also creating anxious for few people. And definitely the irregular sleep pattern which is making them to have a sleep disturbance and concentration difficulties. So that is why the major reason, if we don't get a proper sleep, we cannot able to recall or we cannot able to do best in the examinations. So that will disturbs our overall routines. And as we all know, like when we have a parental disturbance, say for example any of the parents or alcoholic or quarrelsome parenting or always fighting in the families with cause or without cause, that will disturb the students mindset of preparing themselves for the examinations. They lack support. That is one of the reason also creating stress for them, and especially these pandemic situations. So we don't know like when the exam is going to start, how the exam is going to start, whether it is online or whether it is offline, whether there will be a kind of help that from the government will give on the examination criteria. These are all the so many factors other than this will also make the students to get stress. This slide is specific to the anxiety. As I said that previous slide is specific to the stress. So what is anxiety? It is kind of uncertainty. See how the students get anxiety. These are all the profile or a kind of persons when we think like we need to get every answer right, may these are the peoples will get prone to get anxiety. For example, when a student sees a question paper or when they assume like the examination questions paper, especially during the examination time, they feel or they assume like they need to know or they need to get all the answers which they have read in the previous night or a previous day. And some students feel like, what if I forget everything I know or read in the previous day? And other students may get anxious. For example, what if the test is too hard? See, even though you prepared hard, even though you prepared smart, even though you had much hard work and everything, so when you have these sort of thinking or these sort of pattern of thinking on your mind, definitely that will make us to become anxious, especially feeling like I'm going to forget everything and feeling like the exam is going to too hard and having an unrealistic or realistic expectation like I'm going to answer or I'm going to know each and every answer in every detail and in every specific. So when we have this sort of thought unconditionally or unrealistically, definitely there is a chance like we may become anxious during the examination or during the preparation of a examination. What happens when we get stress or anxiety during this examination? So this is about the slide of common reaction to examination stress. What happens physically is, well, first when we get stress or anxiety, we'll have a first effect of a sleep. We cannot able to sleep calm or we cannot able to sleep mindfully. Our sleep may get disturbed. We may have a broken sleep. We may wake up at the mid of the night. We may be thinking all the time about the examinations or about the mark or method of conducting the examination. This will disturb your sleep pattern. and you cannot enjoy eating your food. Either you eat a lot or either you don't eat at all. You may be finding it very difficult to breathe. Sometimes you may be having a headache, or especially the migraine in specific. Some may have a head pressure on their top. Some they have a kind of pressure on their back head. Some people have allergies on their skin. For some students, they may have a muscle tensions or frictions. They may feel to go to the restroom repeatedly for passing the urinations, and they have a nausea, feeling like vomiting, and they have a bowel related symptoms which is called indigestion. When it comes to the psychological or emotional output, yes, definitely these students maybe have more fears. They find it very difficult to talk even with their parents or with their siblings. They will be feeling very restless. They cannot able to enjoy sitting in a one place or watching a movie or a newspaper. They feel like to walk here and there, and they don't know what is going to happen about the examinations. So that's the reason like they will become restless. They may create a low self-esteem, depression features, consistently feeling sad about the examination. They may get an anger outlet or a kind of frustrations about examination and with the people, and kind of aggression or anger towards anything. Even some people may break the phone or things which is very very nearer to them as a kind of anger outburst. And definitely when they have these sort of psychological effect, that will impair their concentration abilities too. They cannot able to relax. They may be finding it so tired all the time. When it comes to the behavioral aspects, as I said before, they cannot eat properly, or they may become an emotional eater. They may take high calorie food to manage their stress or anxiety. These people may not attend the online class or online examination. They will definitely procrastinate the homeworks or assignment. They may get easily distracted, and they may be seen always withdrawn, in the sense they will not get connected with any sort of people or with the relatives or with the friends. Even when you talk to them, they will give you the closed ended answer. How are you? Yes, fine. Are you preparing for your examination? Yes, I do. They don't elaborate what is exactly happening to them. They won't be open enough. They feel like highly withdrawn. So dear students, let's see how we're going to manage our examination stress and anxiety positively. So this slide is about the 4 steps for accomplishment. The first, we should have a right mindset and plan purposefully for the examination. And we should trust and we should proceed very positively. We should prepare consciously, prayerfully, and we should prepare our which means like our preparation should be very very consistent. That's called pursue of persistently. So when you plan this, especially on these 4 factors, regularly and appropriately, definitely we can yield the best result. So which is beautifully said by the Benjamin Franklin: by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. It's a $1,000,000 questions, like most of the students have in their mind. This examination is a hurdle or a stepping stone. Dear students, we need to view the examination not as a hurdle in the life, but as a stepping stone for the greater progress. So the examination or the stepping stones to raise higher, just as we do in a staircase, slowly moving towards the top. And some steps are easy to climb. Of course, some steps are difficult to climb, but since we have to move on to go achieve in our examination. I always used to say to my students when I worked as a student counselor in an X or Y school, the examination doesn't decides your life, or education doesn't decides your life, but educations or the score which you get will decides the institutions. Because the more mark, the distinction or a gold medal, whatever it may be, the more marks you get, the best institution that you will get. Obviously when you get a best institution or a best institution, definitely you will come up greater in your life. Think, normalize. Sometimes it is quite okay to be not okay. Let's see it in elaborative manner. Understand that anxiety at this stage is very, very natural. There are so many examinations which is still on a pending, even TNPC or UPSC or any sort of government examination or a competitive examination. It is all on the pipeline, and most of the students who have been preparing for these faces these sort of anxiety. So we are not alone. We have to stay very, very optimistic, which means very positive, and we have to love ourselves. Think strongly, prayerfully that you will get or you will score a best mark. So if you have been much worried or distressed, being thinking about these examinations or feeling like you're going to get a best mark or something like, please distract yourself. Do some sort of physical activity or even think about some situations which makes you to feel so calm and so happy and so relaxed. So that will also makes you very, very productive. Definitely doing exercise, which includes a active exercise of walking or jogging or even going for a gym, or given a passive exercise of doing yoga that stimulates your endorphin hormones, which makes you to feel so happy biologically. So try to do at least 30 to 45 minutes a day, at least weekly 4 or 5 times a day. So definitely you have to talk with your friends, which we say it as a support systems. Whenever you feel like to get connected with the friends and whenever you feel like to share your inner feel of stress or anxiety, please talk to them, get advice. This will also take you to the next level. You will be so supportive when you get advice or recommendations from them. But see to that you have to choose a friend who is very positive and not a kind of depressive student, because that people will make you double depressed. So choose a support system who is very, very helpful to you. Listen, sometimes listening to the music, a kind of soft instrumental music. If you feel like Ilayaraja's song or even Anirudh's song, which is making you so calm and relaxed, please listen to that. That will also make you to become so calm. I always trust preparation is the key. So you have to relearn your subject or a unit or a chapter or an answer, either objective or a descriptive questions, answers again and again to sharpen your memory system. So that we will discuss on the upcoming slide. So dear students, it is not like always a psychological method or a kind of behavioral method will enhance our mind to get good marks. The diet also plays a very, very major role. So till the examinations, so try to limit your coffee, but you can intake teas or green teas, and always take more water. I won't say what is a quantity of a liters, but sipping your water regular intervals, that's makes your body so well. So take your water, drink water all the time. All sort of dry fruits as proteins and ions on the dates, that will also gives you a enhancement on your brain functioning. Definitely you have to take more sort of fruits and veggies, which is called fiber related stuff, and which will give you an instant energy. Vitamin C and again protein, all sort of nutrition's value plays a major role. Definitely we need to take eggs, milks and kind of soups or chickens which has rich on proteins. Now let's see how we going to prepare ourselves during the examinations. Let's focus on the external factors, which is called study atmosphere. So dear students, we have to choose a place where it has a good ventilations. It doesn't mean like you should have a great infrastructure, but see to that even though if you have a small room or kind of even a terrace, not a great deal, there should be a proper ventilations and can be some sort of sound minimizing disturbance which makes you to prepare ourselves calmly. And make sure like do not change your place repeatedly, because changing your place repeatedly during the preparation, it will also makes your attention distracted. So make sure you choose some place and be in that place all the time, so that you can create a study environment there. I always suggest to sit erect during the preparation. Never ever study your content while sitting on the sofa or on the bed. It will make you to sleep a lot. Because any books, if it is boring, if you feel like, that is a kind of sedatives which makes you to sleep immediately. So that is why on those days we have only stools. But nowadays the trend has been changing. So we have been supporting our back with other sort of stuff, so which is making us to feel so dull and we cannot able to concentrate. But sitting erect will makes your alert more. And definitely you should never be in an empty stomach. At the same time, you should never eat stomach full. Make sure it should be an appropriate, and as I said before, fruit salads or drinking waters, it solves a purpose. And check yourself whether you are a night person or a day person. If you are a night person, you can study till 1 p.m. or even 2 p.m., but you have to wake up very late. But if you are a day person, make sure you have to wake up at 4 o'clock or 4:30 to study well. But don't confuse with this both. For example, don't study till 1 p.m. and wake up at 4 p.m. That entirely disturbs your memory system. You will become panic or kind of panic attack during the examination. So never ever try. So whichever is okay or whichever is convenient for you, choose the best. But as of my recommendation or as of any psychologist recommendation, it is predominantly in the early morning. We say it as a Brahma Muhurtam. That's because you don't get much sort of noise pollutions or dust pollutions or any sort of disturbance from the other people. Keep sipping your water at the regular intervals, as I said before, because that will hydrate your body, which makes you so calm. Because when you take up your water at the regular interval, obviously you need to go at least half an hour once for restrooms. That will also make you so alert. So in this slide, let's see how we can program our mind for getting a best mark. I suggest not to watch your TV for more than half an hour a day. Of course, you are in a home right now and the school time has been restricted. But make sure like you're seeing in constructive channels, not in very, very specific watching on this pandemic news, because that will create anxiety on your mind, which will not make you to study properly. So you can watch a music or a comedy track or even a cartoon channels or whatever it may be, which makes you so calm. Never ever be addicted to that. So don't always aim for the first, but do your best. You can come for the first or you will get the best. Make sure your auto suggestion should be very, very positive. That I'll give you a few examples at the end of the slide. Auto suggestion is nothing but giving your positive note to your mind about this examination or about your goal which you're going to reach on a nearer future. Be very careful in talking to yourself. That is why we say like paying attention to your self-talk. Don't blame or give a label like you cannot able to do well, I don't know like how the examination going to do, or I cannot able to perform well on the examination. This will deteriorate your mind process to achieve best mark. So pay attention, give positive note to your subconscious mind. Definitely you will feel very positive about yourself. That is why most of the students, when you say like what makes you to feel sad, they cannot able to find reason. They'll feel like I don't know, but I feel like something is wrong in my mind. I'm not being motivated. I'm not able to study well. I'm feeling tired all the time. So that is the reason like they may be having a negative self-talk towards self. So this makes them to feel bad without knowing any reason. So be very careful to your how you evaluate or how you talk to yourself. Let's see on this slide about how to improve your concentration techniques. First of all, we should have a right mindset, a positive mindset to get ready for preparing. To start with, we have to do a strong or a deep breathing. What is that strong includes? I say it technically as a 4-7-8, or a diaphragmatic breathing or a belly breathing. So you have to inhale 4 seconds through your nose. By the time your stomach should bloat up, and you have to hold that for 7 seconds, and you have to exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Or if you are feeling confused, just breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, and exhale it for 8 seconds. When you have been doing this mindfully, definitely you will be on the present, and you will never be on either on the past or on the future. So just before the studying, or even you can try this, close your eyes and breathe in, breathe out for 2 minutes, focusing only on your breath. This will also, it's a kind of soup which we take before the food, which makes you so calm too. And before studying any subject or a chapter or a unit, just give it a glance so that you will get some idea that what you're going to read for the next 30 minutes or 1 hour. I always suggest or request the students not to muck, because that will not help you at any cost, because the mind is not a pen drive where you can copy and store it or paste it. That will help. It is not at all. Unless and until you don't understand, we cannot able to memorize at all. So you need to study by the clear understanding. Or if you finding it difficult to understand, please talk to your friends, peers, they will help you, or get support from your teachers, they will definitely help you, or even a YouTube, or even talking with your parents will also supports. But never ever muck. But still, in the process that you want a clear understanding, you can also teach someone with the content which you have learned. That will also enhance your long-term memory. We'll tell you what is long-term memory on the coming slides. When coming into the memory techniques, definitely we need a few minutes break. It doesn't mean like you need to take only 10 minutes. It is up to you. Up to 15 minutes is acceptable for 1 hour. You can also take a power nap for 20 minutes if you want in the afternoon. Make sure don't sleep for more than 1 hour in the afternoon. That will never ever make you to sleep in the night at the appropriate time. For example, before 10 p.m. So nap is acceptable, but sleeping in the afternoon for more than 2 hours is not acceptable. Review your chapter again and again. That definitely enhance your memory system, especially your long-term memory. Let's see how our memory system works. Suppose a teacher is taking a class in the online, and you are a student that you have been listening, that certain information which comes to your mind, which is called a sensory memory. After which the class ends, you started to prepare, which will last for a few seconds or a few minutes, which is called a shorter memory. When you don't read that subject after over a period of time, definitely decay happens, which means like you will lose that particular content or a theory or a formula. You will never ever get remember on that. But when you read that subject or a unit again and again, say for example the next day morning, the next day, the another day, as a part of rehearsal, that will take you to the long term memory, which is locally called as an exam memory. You can keep that information as much long time, and during the examination you will definitely get a recall, and you can do best on the examination. So in short, when you read your subject again and again, it will enhance your long-term memory, which helps you to get a best score on your exam. So think like we all remember our mobile numbers, residential address, and every school address or something like. You know why it is? Because we keep on repeating these phone numbers or address in a multiple area. So that will that is one of example that enhancing our long-term memory. But even though when we take up some sort of lunch before 4 or 5 days, we don't remember that, because we don't think or we don't relearn that particular information again and again. So always read your subject repeatedly to enhance your long-term memory benefits. So let's see on this slide about early to rise and early to sleep. As I said before about the Brahma Muhurtam and what we should do on the day of examination. So remember that you rise before the sun rises. As I said before, you will get very, very little distraction. Try this method for at least 7 to 11 days or even 21 days without any break. You will feel much better. The quantity of or quality of time which you spend in the evening hours for your preparation, which will be very less during your morning time. You will become so calm and relaxed. Only thing is when you wake up around 4 or 4:30, you may feel drowsy or you may feel so sleepy. Your biological clock will not work, but definitely when you try on the 5th day or 6th day, you will wake up. Your biological clock will work based on that, and automatically without any alarm you can wake up. So do some super brain yoga. Do one activities on a left hand stuff, either brushing your teeth or doing kind of any activities which is refreshes your right brain. So that will makes your sleep energized, and you will wake up very fast, and you can do your study process. See, generally to wake up early, as I discussed before, we have to sleep early. So for that technique, we can practice some sort of fast techniques. There are so many techniques, but predominantly one is followed. You have to take your dinner before 8 o'clock, and you have to go to your bed around 9 p.m. by maximum, and you have to read a solid boring books. Don't ask me which is a boring books. I don't prescribe any boring books, but you have to think yourself when you read some sort of books which makes you to feel yawning and which makes you to feel sleep. So choose that book, read it for 10 to 15 minutes. Definitely your sleep hormone called melatonin will get secreted, and you will get an awesome sleep without any dream disturbance. But there are students says like I'm getting a bad dreams or a dreams which means like I'm not sleeping properly. I strongly say when you have any dreams, you are sleeping well. The people who don't get a sleep is one of the features like they have a broken sleep or a disturbed sleep. But if you get a dream, definitely you're sleeping well. So on the day of examination, so these are all the recommendations. Even your teachers will definitely give it and help you a lot. But as a part of psychologist, I wish to ensure, or I wish to reassure this one more time. So never ever verify the answer after the examination. Why? It is like it will create anxiety for the next examination. Imagine if you done something wrong on the objective or a descriptive type, that will haunt you over a night, and it will not make you to prepare well for the next examination. I suggest you to play outdoor games, not to focus on playstations or any sort of mobile games. Try only eating a vegetarians during the examination times, because any oily items or a non-vegetarian stuff will have some sort of upset on your stomach. So kind of idlis or idiyappams or a bread or kind of salads or sprouts, that will quite sufficient during the examination. Always try to stop reading before 1 hour of examination, because that will disturb your mindset to calm and write up your examination. Try to take a food 1 hour before the examination, or a kind of small snacks will also solve the purpose. Avoid wearing the tight dress, that will makes you so uncomfortable during the examination writing. And always suggest not to discuss any sort of answers or your preparation time during the examinations, because that creates an unwanted discussion as well as an anxiety for your write up. I also wish to give you some study tips. Make or don't make yourself too vulnerable to regarding this, as I said before, this pandemic news or COVID-19 news. The government are taking the best remedies and protocol, ensuring your health to be very, very safe. So you need not worry at all. They will take care of. But you have to take care of your own academic preparation, where they can only help. Only you can able to prepare. So set goals. This will definitely makes your life so happier. As I said earlier, rehearsal, which means relearning your unit or a chapter again and again, will give the best result. This is my personal recommendation. Waking up so early, going to the tuitions or getting online tuitions or home tuitions. We say it as a multi learning center, preparing for the school, preparing for the tuition, preparing for the NEET, and not watching a TV or games at all. This will not give you the great result. You have to relax yourself to the minimum. At the same time, you have to focus well on your studies. So which is called balancing your life. This will makes you to be very clear and achieving more marks. So of course it is very difficult nowadays to listen on online class, but still because we are in the changing situations, so we need to accept this change. So try to listen. 70% your work will get resolved, because when you when you read or when you listen consciously to the teaching content, obviously you learn more. Even though if you have any sort of doubts, you will definitely ask to your teachers and you will get an immediate answer too. This is a small request to the parents too. Don't force or don't punish them for not preparing or not for studying. So give them space. Definitely they know their role and responsibilities to get best marks. This slide is about instant energy techniques. Suppose over a period of time when you have been studying, we feel so drowsy, we feel so tired. On that time, you can just stretch your earlobes to overcome your drowsiness. But of course, if you feel much tired, it is better to get sleep, because check on the past 2 or 3 days when you don't have a sufficient or a good sleep, there is a chance like you may get drowsiness. If it is not, you can try this stretching your earlobes. Recommendation 2, you can also do blinking in cold water. I mean your eyes. Blinking your eyes on a cold water or flashing your face on a cold water will definitely overcome your drowsiness. Recommendation 3, you can also blow balloons whenever you feel drowsy or tired. Because the balloon, when you blow, you feel first of all much better. When it is blowing with the different colors, you will be happy. Obviously, you will be becoming so alert and active. This slide is about the social network addiction. For the past 3 years, or at least a minimum 2.5 years, there are so many students who are coming out with the internet use disorder addictions or a disorder profile. There are students who are becoming even psychotic, which means a schizophrenia. They are saying like they are a god and they're going to change the environment and they're going to find the medicine for a permanent cure for the COVID-19 because of an excessive watch of YouTubes and excessive addicted to the mobiles. This is a case who have been just doing the 9th standard. So when you spend too much of time on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or whatever it may be, definitely there is a chance like you may be getting addicted to the social network, which will definitely have a great interference with your daily life. When it comes to what is addictions, think yourself, it is a compulsive behavior that lead you to the negative effects, and it will definitely impair your preparation style. I know there are students who keeps their mobile, even though they have a classes on mobile or they do study through the mobile, but they keep the mobile or a tab by the side and they use it for the entertainment purpose, which is very alarming, and your concentration will definitely diffuses. So be aware. It doesn't mean like you should be stay away from these sort of social network. It is good, you can share your goods and bads with the people. At the same time, use it only for a 30 minutes, that is very safe. So dear students, hope you got benefited out of my small knowledge exposure, but still you must work hard during your academic preparation and you have to be very smart during your examination. So as I told you before, some sort of auto suggestions that you can try for yourself. Just every night before going to the bed and once you wake up from the bed, Say to yourself, like, I am confident to achieve my best mark. I know I can do this exam very well or write up this exam very well. It is common, like everyone experience anxiety. I am strong enough to do this test. You can also add up your own positive auto suggestions, whatever you feel like to, but do it 2 days, I mean, like 2 times a day, once before going to the night and once you wake up from the bed. That will gives you a great effect because it is equivalent to the prayers. When you keep on repeating this prayer, obviously you will become like that. So dear students, think like there are also three main reasons for lacking of preparation for the examination. One is overconfidence. There are few students who feel like during this pandemic time the government may take some actions or a leisure corrections, or they don't take it exam as a serious. Not at all. This is a competitive world. Definitely they have their own restrictions. So you have to prepare very consciously. Don't be overconfidence. Don't procrastinate. Don't feel like the examination dates will be extended or will be delayed. We have no one has any ideas on this. So you have to be prepared all the time. Get ready all the time. Never ever be get lazy. So that is what I told you before. When you take up your sleep of around 7 to 8 hours a day and physical exercise for 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day, and appropriate food at the right time, nutritional food which includes iron, vitamin D, proteins and fiber, all this will makes you to become so energized and alert and will not make you to become lazy. But still, overconfidence, procrastination, laziness will have a great impact on getting your best mark. So this is about the mind is everything. What you think you will become definitely. So thank you so much for your valuable time and for the team who have helped me to organize this stuff of content. And this is about my kind of contribution to the society, that is involving on a social addictions or a drug addiction, how to manage the stress and anxiety, my small write up on few papers and some news channels. And this is about my clinic which is located in the Ambattur, and it is one of the best and first in Chennai according to 3 best rated company. And we are, as I said before, we are ISO 9001 and 2015. Thank you so much. Have a very great day and all the best. If you have any doubts, please contact your college. They will help you to, or you can also mail us. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.